Welcome to Mediocre Gaming, and today we're talking about games. Well, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and salutations. Today, I can see clearly now. Let's get to it. 2020 is a new year, and it is here, and we are talking about new games, fresh games that are coming out during the year that I personally am looking forward to. Now, this may coincide with other people's lists of games and what they're looking forward to, but this is my list. So let's start off right away with the number one game by Square Enix, Final Fantasy VII. Now this remake, for the most part, I'm not very interested in rehashes and remakes of old games into new games. You have good memories with the games, and that should be enough. But this, I feel, is a little bit different, and it is worth looking at. So if you've played Final Fantasy VII before, it is worth looking at it because of the update in the graphics and gameplay. Now, if you've never played Final Fantasy VII, this will be an opportunity to get the experience and see why there are a lot of people that say the franchise really started at Final Fantasy VII. Next on the list is CD Projekt Red's Cyberpunk 2077. This is a very ambitious title looking at the near-term future where people are using robotic parts in tandem with their organic ones, or replacing organic parts with those robotic parts. Different upgrades, different abilities. You have vehicles, weapons, abilities, weapons on vehicles, different contracts. If everything pans out, it looks to be one of the great games of 2020. Dying Light 2. This game by Techland is, of course, the sequel to Dying Light 1. You've got zombies, you've got parkour, you've got weapons, you've got dilapidated buildings that are falling apart, anything and everything that you might want in a post-apocalyptic survival horror game. Not only that, but the changes and the decisions that you make not only affect your personal outcome and what is available to you later on, but it also changes your surroundings, your city, as a result. So it'll be interesting how this plays out in the final game. But so far, it looks like it could be a contender for one of the best games of 2020. And of course, this list would not be complete without the addition of Last of Us 2 by Naughty Dog. Last of Us was a great post-apocalyptic survival horror game that had a huge cult following, and Last of Us 2 is going to build upon that. You have, of course, time rolls on, and the characters that we know and love from Last of Us will still be in Last of Us 2, but older. So we still have Joel in the mix, but Ellie is the main protagonist, or appears to be the main protagonist in The Last of Us Part 2. And I don't really think there's anything more to say about that. If you enjoyed Last of Us, and everyone should have had the opportunity to play Last of Us because it was one of the games of the month for PlayStation Plus members, then you'll know if you will or will not enjoy Last of Us Part 2. It should be a little bit more in depth, of course. Everything should be a little bit more updated. Gameplay, graphics, sound, etc. And there you have it. Ghost of Tsushima, being developed by Sucker Punch and published by Sony, so it is a PlayStation exclusive, much like Last of Us Part 2. Ghost of Tsushima puts you into a Ronin samurai in feudal Japan in the 1270s. This is, of course, during the first Mongol invasion of Japan. This is going to be an open world adventure with you being the Ronin samurai, doing the right thing, saving the people from the invaders, and of course having to deal with everything else that goes with it. Betrayal, love, hate, but more importantly, the action. Sword swipes that you could miss in the blink of an eye, and it looks like there's going to be combos where you can get the drop on someone or a group of guys and go from one to the next, take them all out very quickly, and that just looks really, really cool. Additionally, the cinematic style that they're using in the visuals for the game look absolutely stunning. So this is a game that I am greatly anticipating for 2020. Getting towards the end here, we have Marvel's The Avengers game being developed by Crystal Dynamics. Now, if you're a fan of Marvel and the Avengers, then more than likely you're going to enjoy this game just to see all your favorite heroes and being able to play as those heroes. But I think there is a much larger audience to be had, as this game is being developed as a game as a service, looter type shooter game on the same level as, say, Destiny or Division. So you'll be able to play as your favorite hero, and you'll be able to customize your hero however you like. There's going to be, of course, melees. There's going to be weapons where appropriate, abilities, cooldowns for those abilities, and then you're going to have cosmetic items, and of course you're going to have currencies, both regular in-game currency and premium currency. Additionally, you're also going to have different resources that you can collect throughout the game. You're going to have missions, both campaign missions and high-value targets. You're going to have missions that you can do by yourself, or you can do with up to 3 other people online. So I think this is flying under the radar of a lot of people that maybe would be more interested in a game like that if they knew that it was more of a looter shooter based game. Now obviously you're not going to see the Hulk with a shotgun or anything like that, but I think you get what I'm saying. There's going to be different things that you can get, different rarities for either armor or clothing or whatever, and then there's a separate line for cosmetics. So if you want to see, Fat Thor, maybe that will be an option. But this will be interesting to see how this all plays out, especially as it gets closer to launch. Now there's actually a couple of more games that are on this list, and they are all being published by Ubisoft. Now bringing up Ubisoft, 2019, Ubisoft had a couple of stumbling blocks or games that they really thought would do better, and they did not. So as a result, in order to prevent that from happening in the future, they kind of took a step back, reevaluated their model and what the games that are going to be coming out and the games that are being projected into the future, and seeing why these games should be there and what the players are actually looking for. So I think that Ubisoft is probably doing the good thing by taking a step back and reevaluating. As a result, hopefully the games coming out in 2020 will be the kinds of games that we will enjoy playing. So what are these games? Alright, so number 1, we have Skull and Bones, being published by Ubisoft. That is the pirate game where you are the captain of a ship and you are trying to get loot. It's as easy as that. It looks like a very fun game. Looks like you can play with multiple people online, and then of course AI as well. So think Assassin's Creed, Black Flag, but only the ship battles. Next, we have Gods and Monsters. We haven't actually seen too much in this, but this is a more comic style game with the Greek gods and monsters. So it looks like it could be a really good game, action adventure type game. As we get closer to release, we'll see more about it and what it's all about. And finally, we have Watch Dogs Legion. If you are a follower of the Watch Dogs series, 1 and 2, then you have at least an idea of what Watch Dogs Legion has in store for you. Differentiating from previous titles, instead of playing as one protagonist, you can play as anyone in the game. Any person walking down the street is a potential agent for your organization, and everyone brings something different to the table. So without knowing their background, maybe they're good with martial arts, so they're very good up close and personal. Maybe they're a weapons expert. Maybe they're an expert in espionage. Maybe they're great at hacking. Whatever their talent and wherever their talents lay, that is only going to help your organization. But if they get arrested, then they're going to be out of action. If they get killed, then that is permadeath, and you won't be able to bring them back. You'll have to find another agent to replace that person. So if they're in a critical role of hacking or driving or whatever their specialty was, you're going to have to find another person that did that if it was that crucial to whatever future operation you had in mind. And that's it. Hope you enjoyed this video. Be sure to check us out on social media, and thank you for liking, commenting, and subscribing. And we'll see you next time.